Hi guys, your favourite Armoured Penguin here again, and we are going to be cracking on with Flat Earth Misconceptions, Part 6. So this one's a bit more tongue-in-cheek, but it's one that certainly needs to be brought up. I mean, I know not all Flat Earthers follow the Zetetic method, and not all Flat Earthers are theist. Personally, if the world was proved to be flat tomorrow, considering it goes against everything we know, I would have no other option to accept it as proof of God existing. I know this is me, personally, and other people might feel otherwise. However, there is this idea of an atheist conspiracy hiding the fact that the Earth is flat. So the globe is a Freemason, satanic atheist ploy to hide the fact that God exists, and that he has created the world. And I have to stop right there. And this is because, well, apart from, and this has been pointed out to me since I wrote the article I'm actually specifically talking about at the moment, I know that there is a Church of Satan and it's an atheist group. That being said, Satan is a device of Christianity. I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but you're basically talking about, I think it's God's brother? You might have to fill me in on a few of these things, because it really has nothing to do with me, and I really couldn't give a shit. But Satan is a consequence of Christianity, and atheists are not satanic. Apart from this one church, Satanists aren't atheist. And I'll go into that, I will go into that more. You see, atheism is the lack of a belief. It's a lack of a faith in a deity. And that's a deity of any kind, whether it's God, Satan, Allah, Ganesh, Buddha, Zeus, Saturn, Hermes. You know, there's a long list of them. And I don't even believe in Bob the Penguin, which is it's a little bit of an inside joke. And guys, if any of the guys who know who Bob the Penguin is, feel free to get in touch with me, because I haven't spoken to you guys in years. But we don't believe in Zeus. We don't believe in Saturn. Well, the planet exists, but the god doesn't. We don't believe in Hermes, and I don't believe in Hermes from Futurama either. We don't believe in Baal, or the flying spaghetti monster. You know, there's a long list of gods that we just don't believe in. There's probably a long list of gods that you don't believe in either. I think it was, well, a number of well-known atheists online have actually said that the difference between an atheist and a theist is that an atheist took it that one god further. So now, anyway, we're getting back onto the subject now. So the idea is that the globe is one of many billions of planets, circling many billions of stars, which are circling many billions of galaxies. A mote of dust on a speck amongst a dust storm in a desert of worlds. And I want you to just hold that in your mind. The infinite space full of masses that we are on, this spinning rock in the universe. Now, tell me that if you so want him to be there, that God cannot fit in this idea. The idea of a near-infinite universe full of galaxies, stars, planets, it's not atheist. Contemplating on it might lead you to believe that there is no God, but it's not inherently atheist in itself. There are theist heliocentrists, there are theist Big Bang theorists, there are theist evolution theorists. So the globe is not atheist. I mean, I personally would argue that Flat Earth has to be theist, but Eric Dubay, for instance, argues that it isn't, and it fundamentally all comes down to personal interpretation. So, are we insignificant? I'm going to say maybe, but insignificant is not the same as unremarkable or not special. And I want you to look at it this way. The universe is infinite. Well, it's as close to infinite as that it doesn't really matter. And it's full of galaxies, which are packed full of stars. most of which have rocky planets orbiting them. And because we've seen life evolve to fit its landscape on Earth, whether we are talking permafrost, areas so dark that photosynthesis collapses and chemosynthesis is required, or in the exceptionally hot areas of the oceans of the world, the only thing we see in common with all Earth life is carbon and water. And this could simply be because both carbon and liquid water are common on the surface of the Earth. I mean, life could be abundant in our local neighbourhood, let alone the universe. But something happened in the evolution of life, and nobody knows how it happened or exactly what it was that was required for it to happen. But for life to make that step from single-cell bacteria to complex multicellular organisms we see today, two forms of cell effectively fused, bringing an extra set of instructions to each cell. You see, mitochondria in the cell contains the instructions for cells to perform different jobs, giving rise to skin, skeletons, immune systems, blood, brains. Well, it's fairly explanatory. Every separate organ you have, there's a separate set of instructions for that cell. To us at the moment, this seems almost miraculous. But until we can see life that has appeared under different circumstances, we aren't going to be able to say about that. But it could well mean that life throughout the rest of the universe won't ever make it past the single cell stage. So, if in this universe of near infinite size, of near infinite celestial bodies, that a good chunk of which could support life, you are putting us in a very special place. I mean, we've been looking for life elsewhere for a long time, and it's been fruitless. And this could be for many reasons. With a universe as old as ours, and we are young as we are, and multicellular life has evolved everywhere, it should just be a matter of time until we find evidence of that. Exciting discoveries in the sky occasionally give us reason to consider ET, and especially massive superstructures around other star systems, which, again, have only been in the news quite recently. But these are usually not the simplest or sensible conclusions to make. So we may as well, for the moment, make the safe-ish assumption that we are unique in the universe, and to get where we have got. And this for me makes us incredibly special, and the universe incredibly beautiful and exciting. I feel more special, more responsible and more important for not just being a mortal mini-me to God. If creationism is correct, the Earth is small, and the universe is finite and tiny. If we are here at the will of an observer, then we have had no struggle to get where we are, and we simply appeared because somebody wanted us to. Now that feels mind-numbingly oppressive to me. And yes, this probably shows that I do have an emotional reaction to the universe being infinite, or being a young created flat plane only a few miles in diameter. But is it bad to have an emotional reaction to see how awesome humanity are? To be the only surviving Homo species? To look at what we've achieved in the last 200,000 years? To go from some small packs to large family units centralised around a cooked meal ritual? To look at the invention of bread and wine and the evolution of cookery? To make our eating more efficient and leaving more energy and time for brain growth? To understand the creation of civilization and agriculture, no longer needing everyone in a tribe needing to know how to hunt, meaning that more specialised jobs can be created. To see how in the last 3,000 years we've been asking more questions about the world, and less just assuming that it is what is immediately obvious. 200,000 years ago, 90% of our waking life on the African plains was probably dedicated to just staying alive, and we now create and control our own environment. We spend half of our waking time working for the progress of the world. The other half we spend entertaining ourselves. Our lives are very rarely at risk, and in fact the biggest risk to our health is ourselves. What with our diets, our laziness, which actually drives progression, so don't get me wrong, it is a good thing. Technology, wars, even religion, we have progressed to a point where we can disassemble the universe and understand concepts much bigger than ourselves. We have achieved art for art's sake. Utilities such as cars and clothes have become a style choice. They've become something that we do for fun. We have video games that achieve absolutely nothing beyond making us feel fluffy inside. And we can send messages across the world and even into space. We have humans living off our world. We have stepped upon another world and sent robots out even further. And just to show the universe, we're all school kids really, we've drawn a massive cock on one of our nearest neighbours. We are fucking amazing. Humanity is brilliant. So, my apologies for this one going on for a little bit longer. I know it's longer than the normal Flat Earth Misconceptions, and it's not really a misconception. It's more getting off my chest how I feel about the world. But I hope that it helps you to visualise the world that we live in and how, contrary to what you might believe at first, us living in this massive, almost unthinkable universe makes us more special than if we were simply God's pets. Thanks guys for listening, and as always, if you like my video, then like, subscribe, share around. If you do have any questions, or if you'd like to bring anything up with me, then please leave it in the comments below. And subscribe if you like it.
Push the tempo, 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 push the tempo.